Well, guys, this week starts from Tuesday because on Monday it was bank holiday here in Italy. So Tuesday, here we go. And Tuesday, drawing day. You know, when I'm thinking about this Tuesday, I can't help but thinking how lucky I am to have made such great friends at the academy. And this is something I should really be thankful because it's the best gift I could have, honestly. They're always there to cheer me up. They understand better than so many of my friends, actually, because this is such a peculiar journey that I'm taking and we are taking it together. So I'm really glad about it. Anyway, Tuesday drawing. Today was a little bit of a subdued day. I think the organization of the classes is still adjusting to all the changes. I still think it's a matter of time, so let's stay strong about that. Today we also had anatomy where we looked at the legs muscles. Finally, I'm really happy about that because legs are something that I can never get right in my drawings for some reason, and they are, I think, one of the most important parts to draw because all our weight is on the legs, and if the legs do not work in the drawing, the rest of the drawing is not very solid. So I think this is such an important thing. I don't know how much I understood. I need to practice still, but I was very happy to look at them. So very positive thing about today. Also, I enjoyed tonight because actually after we drew the model, we had a chat with the teacher, Nicola Verlato, and he started talking about drawing, about art, about composition, about aesthetics, about morality, about so many things that at the end, the hour-long chat became actually a lecture. I think it's amazing to hear him, and I feel very lucky to be studying with such knowledgeable people. Something I'm really grateful for. Even if today was a little bit subdued, I really want to think about this journey that I'm taking, and I know this is how I concluded my last video, and I really want to live the present and don't forget how much I'm learning from this experience and everything positive that's happening to me. So as I was mentioning, the friends, the amazing teachers I'm studying with, so I think it's a great experience, and sometimes I get carried on with events, maybe negatively, and I think I should look at the bigger picture because honestly, I am living the best year of my life probably, and I really wanted to keep being like that. Wednesday painting, and today was actually an interesting Wednesday because we discovered, at least theoretically, colors and how to apply on a dry, let's say, grisaille or underpainting or how we want to call it. The teacher, Nicola Verlato, made a couple of demonstrations to show us how to mix and then how to apply color. And I was glad to see that at least the principle from shadows to lights was still there, exactly as I learned previously. Furthermore, now we have the magical formula for skin tones. As I said, theoretically, because when it came the time to put everything in practice, it was more difficult than expected. Maybe blame it on the wrong brushes. Actually, I don't have the brush to blend, which is a very important one in this case. But honestly, for as much as I would love to know this is brushes for, a good painter would know how to solve the problem even with wrong brushes. So I think it will take time and practice. It was difficult executing the exercise because despite the demonstrations, I wasn't really sure how to proceed. And as I said, it's much more difficult in practice. So I found myself procrastinating a lot, and that's also why I haven't finished it. I'm gonna finish it tomorrow. Let's keep our fingers crossed for a good result. Thursday, painting day. Today I kept practicing on the painting that I started yesterday, on which I put color on. You know, I just left the torso as I left it yesterday, which I think came out pretty decent, so I didn't want to ruin it by touching it even more. However, legs were hell. I deleted the legs twice today by just passing some paper on it. And, you know, I think that was a big mistake because I also removed the grisaille that was under it. So I was left without a solid base to work on. And, you know, that was one lesson I learned today. So the painting was left with a decent torso but horrible legs. and I didn't want to touch it anymore because I think that the mistake has been made and I couldn't do anything to adjust it at the end. Since I had some more time, I started working on a sphere. Do you remember that I kept talking about spheres during my first few weeks? Well, today I went back to it, and this time I did it in colors. You know what? I should have done it earlier. Earlier means yesterday, because only yesterday we learned the color with the new method. But honestly, it was so useful that probably I should have done it earlier to be able to put it in a more structured and with a more solid base on the painting that I was working on. Second lesson learned today. Well, there's not much more to say about today. I'm gonna leave you here, but today is not the last day of the week because tomorrow I'm gonna do something special, and spoiler, I'm not gonna go to a museum. But I'm not gonna reveal anything, so stay tuned to find out what I'm gonna do. Friday, drum rolls, was plein air painting. Today, maybe you had a spoiler already on my Instagram, I had a plein air session. It was amazing. What is plein air? It's just painting outdoors. I think plein air is a terminology that's born with Impressionists. When they started painting outdoors, that's what actually means in French. It was super fun. It was my first time, and we were a little group. We went painting outdoors with Giotto, and Giotto explained us how to paint in plein air, starting from the sketches made with charcoal. These kind of sketches are different from normal sketches that we do in class, for example, and they are particularly useful to study firstly the composition and values. These two elements are super important for a plein air painting, and you know, it's easy to say, but it's more difficult to put in practice. I had so much fun doing that. I also like the point of view that I've taken, but I messed up these two elements so often that at the end I don't think the result was great, but you know, it was my first session and I'm still looking forward to do another one, which is gonna be on the 27th of June, and I really want to be ready for summer because who knows, maybe I will manage to bring my easel around and to do some more plein air on my own. So with today, the week finishes here. It was a positive week. I'm learning with the new method to paint in colors through a method that makes total sense for me. Also now I have the magical formula for skin tones, and you know, time practice. That's exactly what I need right now. It's gonna be fun though, because I'm having fun doing that, even though the results are not super great. But obviously I'm at the beginning of this kind of practice. I know it's my third month, maybe third month and a half that I'm at the academy. Still, I keep telling you how long of a journey this is and how long you should study painting and drawing, because this is not easy stuff. It's not something that you can achieve super fast. That's why I'm there for, and I'm super ready to keep learning it. Also thinking about the week, today painting in plein air was an absolute highlight. I really loved it a lot. So as I said in previous videos, June is the last month of the academy before the summer break, which is gonna be in July and August. And I'm kind of preparing for it. I'm making a program that I'm gonna self-teach myself so that I can keep practicing and studying and learning, so that by September, when I'll come back, the teachers won't recognize my art because of how much I would have improved. So that is my goal for the summer. Obviously, I also need to make the most of this last month before the break. So here we are. I'm super positive. I'm super motivated. And yeah, that's it for this week. Let me know if you liked the video. Leave a comment and I'll see you next week.